Hello ladies and gentlemen, massive smile on the dude, and the reason for that is because today we are going to kick off with a new series on my channel in which I'm going to present to you the all-time greatest attacking games of chess, at least according to me. And that, needless to say, does bring a big smile on my face because I really do enjoy attacking chess. It is really, in my opinion, one of the finest things, the most fun things you can do on a chessboard. Sack, mate. Who doesn't love that stuff? So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. And I really wanted to start on a very high note, so I'm calling upon legendary grandmaster, according to many, the GOAT himself, Garry Kasparov, who is going to teach us a lesson about how to attack in the Sicilian, and his opponent is going to be the Dutch Grandmaster Loek van Wely. So let's begin. The opening is the Sicilian Najdorf, and Kasparov's choice here is the English attack, which actually was first popularized by English grandmasters, hence the name. John Nunn and Nigel Short, most notably, were the two culprits who made a lot of Sicilian aficionados' lives miserable by this setup. But actually later on it was the man himself, Kasparov, in the 90s and the early 2000s, who basically honed it to perfection and scored some amazing victories. This one is probably the best in the lot, so let's see what is going on here. The idea behind the English attack with f3, by the way, is that white secures the e4 pawn, but also allows a very fluid kingside pawn match with g4, h4, g5, and go gung-ho. b5, g4, both sides begin their respective operations on the wings. h6, black is trying to hold white for a little while at least. Knight d7, castles, bishop b7, and h4. This has been known to be some sort of a tabia of the Najdorf English attack, or at least one of the main tabias, where b4 is usually the main continuation, inconveniencing the c3 knight. Both knight e2 and knight a4 are known to theory, but knight a4 is considered to be the best move. Obviously the knight is a little bit out of place here, but it also helps to hold the black counterattack back a little bit when it does come. d5, a timely and logical counterpunch in the center. The knight had to leave, and now d5 is a logical move. However, and this is basically the overarching theme of this game, black is basically initiating the opening of the position, and black is uncastled. And when you hear these things, you go like, yeah, those are that we teach the babies, but this is, nah. No. These are everlasting chess values and principles, and no one can break them and get away without being punished for that, irrespective of rating. So this here is just a textbook case of sinning against the age-old principles. Do not open up the position when you have an uncastled king. Now, still, perfect accuracy and vicious attacking approach is required to punish it appropriately. White wants to break with g5, but hg, rook takes h1 is a major bummer. And so Kasparov plays bishop h3, which, by the way, not only enables g5 to come, but additionally adds a new motif to the equation, which is after g5 takes, or even if without take, we can now go g6 and entirely blast open the defense of the black king. The f7 pawn will be eliminated one way or another, and then taking on e7 once again, either way, really is going to just absolutely demolish the black defense. In order to prevent that, Van Wely went out of his way to find a very original measure and play g5 himself. Now that is a super curious move that basically is designed to just shut g5 down for as long as possible. Kasparov here actually made a mistake. He should have taken this, followed by the very interesting idea e5, to sack the e4 e-pawn away in order to open up the e-file once again towards the opponent's king. I don't want to go into the details here because I would just take too much time away from the fun to come. Bishop g2 was played. That was a bit of a meh, but it got very quickly rectified when after gh, Kasparov took back with the rook on h4, and now the board is beginning to be set on fire. g5 is a major threat. However, the first thing we notice is that this rook is in the x-ray of the queen. So, what's wrong with knight takes e4? And this is where the whole game becomes hugely educational, and I really want you here to work with me to understand how it works. I'm not going to ask you now to pause because I feel it would break the video down too badly and it would be just difficult to follow, but maybe in future videos we can consider that. So work with me. What's the first move you look at? You don't care about material. Your job, once we are on this journey to try to exploit the king in the middle, is to open the position up against the king in the middle. So if they want to take your rook, you don't care. You go on your mission, which is to open up the position. So after queen h4, you take on d5. And this is where it is beginning to become very clear that although white on paper is materially down, in reality, all the white pieces are beautifully partaking in the attack, and the black pieces are scattered across the board without any purpose whatsoever. My favorite line goes ed knight f5, another thunderbolt, queen g4, bishop takes d5. Notice how every step of the way we have got pieces hanging, and it matters not, because there is a greater goal in front of us on our horizon that we want to reach, and that's the king. And who cares if f5 is hanging, if so is b7. And by the way, with that, we eliminated a very important bishop, after which our piece becomes a hugely important attacker, coming back to c6, killing the knight on d7. And after queen e6 comes the marvelous finish, and again, note how beautifully we executed our own job. So, well done us. The objective was to crack the position open. Doesn't get more open than this. Rook e1, and now there is no way to handle the threat against the black king. Once again, ironically, we are hanging a piece on purpose, but of course after queen takes c6, bishop g5 check, there is nothing left in the position. We are going to recuperate the lost material with tremendous interest. White is completely winning. So, let's go all the way back to rook takes h4. Knight takes e4 is not doable. One more line there. If after takes, they take with the bishop, then we trade the bishop, and again knight f5, and now queen takes d5 is going to mop up the board, hitting here, and the king is extremely lonely. Rook d8 is only, and we repeat the same motif as before. Rook e1, utilizing again the beautifully open e-file against the lonely black king. Marvelous stuff. Righto, so what did Wely do? Very cleverly took with the pawn, trying to maintain the tension, potentially block here, do whatever he could. What does Kasparov do? Attack. That was the idea when we played on, took back on h4, was to play g5. We do not get sidelined by this take. Don't even consider taking back, because that would actually block off the e-file by virtue of placing a pawn on it. We do not want stuff there. We want stuff to be gone, so all the files and diagonals are open for us to attack along. In strong contrast, if we take, let's say they play knight e5, and all of a sudden, black has managed to plug the holes. There's no way to break through. Instead, g5, kick the knight, and boomshki, rook takes e4, rerouting the rook, introducing now a very new and very potent attacker against the black king, floating the idea of knight e6. hg5 was played. Now I need to show you what happens in case of knight e3. We immediately again go in for the attack. No worries about material. Anytime you are playing a position that is as dynamic as this, you should never ever even think about material disparity, or in fact material balance at all. Your only measure to success or failure is whether your attack is breaking through or not. And since we are attacking the king with all our might, the only way how this could fail, if we don't give a mate, but if in the interim black had to give back a lot of material, that's the only time when you actually assess the position based on material. You should not be even aware of material considerations here. Don't worry about it. Your job is to crack it open and go to town and mate. And your time to count material is if they go queen e7, you take, whatever, I just did something silly, and now let's say that queen d7 wasn't working, you take, and now you go like, okay, let's count, because I'm a queen up, I should be good. But not in the middle of it when, oh, I don't know if it's gonna work because I already lost 2 pieces. No one cares. No one cares. Right now, this game is not about how much wood is on the board. Right now, this game is about, are we gonna break through or not? It's make or break. And the material in that is vastly irrelevant. I mean, we can run out of material, but then we will call it off. Not now, when we are in the middle of it. Watch this. 96, Fe, rook takes. Now, if bishop e7, then a very simple queen e3 highlights again how amazingly beautiful chess is. Open files. The king is stuck in the middle, and although black is a piece up, again, I would not count material here. Black is dead lost. Like, nothing can move. Can't move, can't move, can't move. What more do you want? Doesn't matter. Like, I believe that white would have, if you turn on the engine, on the next move, depending on what black does, you would have at least 10 moves that clearly win for white. Pff, out. Okay. Let's try king f7 instead. And boy, check out this line. This is so delicious. g6 check. Hello? If king takes e6, queen e3 check, exposed king. King f6, and after bishop h3, we are threatening to take d7, introducing a very potent attacker, but also queen e6, queen f7 mate is on the cards. Black is entirely busted here. A fabulous attacking concept again. And if after king g8, sorry, after g6 they go king g8, again, you take on e3, and if they play the cheeky queen g5 with a hope to trade queens and bail out with a slightly worse ending, you go, nay, nay, my target is this. No endgames. f4, queen takes g2, and queen b3. Fabuloso. Setting up an amazing discovered check attack. Once again, the king just doesn't get rest. It just every single time somehow finds itself in the crosshairs of the white attackers. And now it's all over after king g7, the marvelous rook e7, bishop e7, and queen f7 mops up. Does it matter what the material distribution is? I don't think so. This game is played for checkmates, not for counting the timber. So, very amazing stuff there. As a result of that, here he had to retake on g5. Obviously, it's not really helpful in regards to knight e6, but at least knight e3 wasn't played. It allowed white to retake and introduce the queen in the attack as well. Kasparov played bishop takes g5. Queen a5 was played. And here, Kasparov played a very beautiful, if you will, positional move in the middle of the attack. Knight takes e6 here is not quite as convincing yet as it will be a few moves later, because after takes rook takes king f7, there is no apparent follow-up. So what he does is he plays f4, introducing once again the last piece into the attack. And I really want you to have a look at this position and just admire the incredible efficiency and power with which Kasparov attacks. Every single piece that he has is just in the middle of the action, ready to unleash. You can't defend against this much stuff. It's just not possible. And that king is doomed to death because it has been cut off from castling queenside. Oops, that was me pressing the wrong button. So, f4, rook h2 was played, trying to blunten the effect of the bishop by creating the pin on the second. A quick side note here, queen takes a4 instead would have been met by knight takes, pawn takes. rook takes check, king f7, and now we see the point of f4, bishop takes d5 incoming, takes, queen takes, and once again the discovered check decides. A simple line could go rook h2, rook e7 double check, and queen f7 checkmate. Another marvelous checkmate motif that mops up in a beautiful style. So after rook h2, Kasparov played knight takes e6, now unleashing the beast. And here again, when I said to you that look how every single piece is attacking on the board, I'm guessing that some of you went like, nope, the a4 knight is not part of the attack. Bear with me. Knight e6, fe, rook e6, king f7, and here comes the hero move of the game that just makes this whole entire performance like just a perfect masterpiece, no less. Queen d3, a quiet attacking move amidst the amazing fireworks, introducing queen g6 checkmate, no less, against which the most obvious response is king takes e6. However, this move loses beautifully to the forcing bishop takes d5 check, bishop takes d5, queen g6 check, knight f6, queen takes f6 check, king d7, and rook takes d5. Is the knight on a4 part of the attack? I guess it is. Queen takes d5, knight b6 check, and if you must, this is a good time to count wood. Actually, not really, because it's a forced mate, but if you really wanted to, now because the dust has settled, it's not a bad idea to look around and just check what the material situation is. But considering how absolutely stark naked the black king is, it's almost certainly a forced checkmate no matter what. But once again, I would like to reinforce this concept that counting material in this position is vastly irrelevant and a waste of time. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Your job is to give a mate. It's either gonna be or not. But it turned out that it is actually a beautiful mate. Wely tried bishop g7, trying to tuck the king away on g8, but the relentless attack by Kasparov never stopped. Queen f5 check. Note how that is actually a pin on the knight, so the knight can't drop back. The king had to drop back, and then came rook takes d5. Once again, just cruelty all the way. Like, Kasparov just doesn't understand the concept of not taking prisoners, or rather taking prisoners actually. He just goes in for the kill every time, all the time. And now he realizes that actually the bishop is a far more potent attacker on that diagonal than the rook would be. Hence the rook takes first, queen a4, and after rook e7, the Dutch Grandmaster called it a day, seeing that queen f7 check followed by mate can't really be prevented. The most stylish finish, I guess, would have been rook f8, queen g6, and after rook h7 comes the coup de grace, bishop h6, and once again g7 got over attacked. Rook takes g7 with a subsequent checkmate is unstoppable. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was the first game of what hopefully will turn out to be an absolutely epic series. I'm going to post the PGN of this game for sure down below, so that you can actually quickly put it up on your analysis board and have a look at this game. It's an amazingly good material for chess lessons, visualization practices, for the whole shebang, so please use it to your benefit whatever way you want. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, to sub, to comment, because that helps me, and I hope to see you in my next video soon. Thanks for watching.